Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
So congratulations, first of all.
Thank you very much.
So first of all, we all should take a step back and have a talk about what you make, because you brought some of the Yomama gear in. So what do you primarily make?
Right now we're just concentrating on men's tees.
Okay.
We've got a whole new collection out, 4 brand new tees to coincide with the debut on Dragon's Den, and we've launched a new website simultaneously.
So the big thing about what you do is that phrase, Yomama.
Yeah.
Right? So you actually own the rights to it, right? Tell me a bit about that. How long have you owned them?
I've owned the registered trademark in Canada since 1988 and in the US since 1998.
And how did you value, when you went into the den, how did you value your clothing line at $10 million? Where does that number come from?
Well, we did some long calculations based on some of the bigger players existing out there. Like I mentioned on the show, Urban Outfitters was doing a Obama Yomama t-shirt 9 months prior to the US federal election. Cafe Press has got over 600 items infringing. Zazzle's got over 200. And at that time, American Apparel launched a maternity line, which they were calling Yomama. Since then, American Apparel has pulled that. I guess they got wind prior to the show airing, or something. Somebody checked out something as they should have done their due diligence prior to launching that maternity line, and they've since then pulled it.
So what's interesting about this is it was the first time, and I watch Dragon's Den regularly.
Right.
I thought the valuation's not necessarily on the company as it exists now. It's on the legal aspects of this. So your whole pitch in a way was you wanted to partner so you could go out and sue other companies. I thought that took serious guts.
Well, the people out there infringing are helping define what I already knew, that there's a value to this word as a registered trademark. And it's evolved more mainstream in the last 5 years than I've anticipated. I thought it might take longer, but it seems to be becoming more and more popular in mainstream media every day. Everything from Wilmar Valderrama doing that Yomama show on MTV.
Yep.
And so on.
Now, what was your reaction on the show to being called a patent troll by Kevin O'Leary? And Arlene looked at you with some disdain.
Well, I'm a $3 million patent troll now, so I still feel kind of pretty for a troll.
So the deal you made in the end, what were the details of it then? Tell me how it works.
Well, essentially, he's tied me up with $1 down for the option to do his due diligence and see if this is feasible for him to partake in this process of litigating all the infringers, basically.
So he ultimately, Kevin O'Leary and Robert would be helping you with the litigation.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they'd be taking over it.
And why did you want their help with that? Why do you think that'll benefit you?
It's a very expensive process in the U.S. To process one person through the federal court could be around $1 million, could be even more. Being a Canadian citizen, I'm responsible for federal court costs, as opposed to if I was a U.S. citizen, that wouldn't be one of the expenditures required. So you need an uncle with big pockets, and Uncle Kevin and Robert are great.
What's the reaction you've had? What kind of attention since this aired this week?
Oh, I've had a lot of phone calls from media and from friends and people I haven't talked to in a while, so it's been very exciting.
And are people reacting that with Arlene's reaction, like, oh, this is terrible, this isn't a business deal, it's about suing? Or are people reacting and saying, no, that's smart and he has the rights and that's the way it rolls?
Yeah, you know what, I'm getting a lot more positive response. Arlene seems to be out on the fence by herself at this point.
Just lastly, why Yomama? Why for your life have you sort of taken that phrase and put yourself into fashion? Like, where does your interest in this even come from?
You know, my interest goes back to my mother, who was my inspiration. When we came to Winnipeg from Poland when I was a year old, and she was a single parent raising my brother and myself. So she was always working 2 or 3 jobs. And one job that she did as a sideline, she sang at the nightclub called Club Morocco back in the day, which in the 60s was the hot spot in town.
Just up here on Portage.
Right.
Yeah.
And she used to design her own outfits when she sang on stage, and it started like that. So
Would she be proud of you with this?
I know she is, yes. She's not here anymore, unfortunately, but I can feel her at times.
Well, we're going to watch your story. I know you're going to be featured in some of the national publications over the next few days here in the business pages. Good luck with it, Richard. Keep us updated.
All right.
That's Richard Abramowicz, president of Yomama Gear. He made a big deal on Dragon's Den this week.